Recently, we just bought an RV and we had a lot of questions when going into the whole process of how do you buy an RV? Where do you look? What questions do you ask when you get there? How do you know if it's broken or not? And so today we're just going to go through kind of our process with how we started, where we looked, and what our plans are in the future. So we came up with this idea of getting an RV and traveling across the country in it back when I was in college, probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Because both of us love to travel. We've both been international a few times and really enjoyed it,
hmm
but determined that neither of us really traveled within the US a ton. And we've been seeing a lot of videos of people doing it in vans and RVs and decided that looks really fun and we should do it. So this is kind of how the idea was born.
And I think we're just both excited for a big adventure, something that was not just like a weekend trip that you did and then you got to talk about it with friends and family. And that sounds great, but we really wanted something that was like, okay, we're really putting our whole selves into this.
And so we came up with that idea, like I said, a couple years ago and didn't put it into action until recently because we wanted to wait until we got married first. So we got married about a year ago and was great.
Would recommend.
Would recommend. So then after we were married for about 6 months, we started looking more intensely and we had questions like, where do you look? How do you know if an RV is good for you? Things like that. And we
How
just
much
didn't
does anything
know.
even cost? We weren't sure like what our money was going to do for us or how much we could get for our budget, things like that. So we were very green. We had no idea kind of what we were going to get ourselves into.
So we started out with looking at Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and kind of online markets to see what the estimated cost would be for something in our what we were hoping for. It turns out to be a little more expensive than we were hoping, of course, as everything is.
We also went to a Camping World. We just felt like that'd be a good place to go as far as, okay, like if you had an infinite budget, what are you even getting? Because we, like I said, we didn't even know how much anything was going to cost. We're like total no understanding of, is this going to be 10 grand, 20, 30, 50? Turns out 50 is more common than we realized and plus. So
yeah, if you want to get something more recent with more modern appliances and everything's working well, you're looking easily over 50.
Yeah.
But you can save money in many places, which is what we did. So we went to Camping World to get an idea of what the market had and also to get an idea of how big actually is 38 feet or 26 feet, or does a slide out really make the difference? Do we want a travel trailer or one you drive? And so after doing all of that, we determined we wanted one around 30-ish feet because we're going to be living full time in it. The extra space was nice and the slide out was not a necessity, but going to be heavily requested.
It was a game changer. I mean, like you said, we could do without it, but it was going to make a big difference as far as just the square footage we had in our living space. So it was a goal.
We also decided to go with one you can drive because the ones you need to pull behind, you need a $50,000 truck to pull the trailer, which we didn't have.
Right.
And we wanted to keep it a lot cheaper than that. So we went with trying to find an older one on Facebook Marketplace is where we started looking after Camping World.
Coop did most of the research.
Yeah, I would just look at it every week. I would look at it once or twice just to see what populated in the area. Luckily, we lived in an area that was pretty populated with lots of things happening in Wisconsin between Madison and Milwaukee. So there was listings going up and going down every day. So I would check, and after a couple weeks, found one within an hour away of where we were currently living, and talked to my parents because they have had
some minor RV experience before, so they at least could give us a absolutely it's not worth your time kind of comment, but they went with us, which was really helpful.
And we went and looked at this RV. It was the first RV we looked at in person off of Facebook Marketplace. And it looked like it was made in the 90s because it was a 97 Winnebago Adventurer. So a pretty iconic brand with the Winnebago. So we're pretty excited about that. But it was camouflage and brown and dark and needed a little love.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it fell out of the 90s. I would joke that the pattern on every single piece of upholstery looked like it was something that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would have worn on pants. It was very, very 90s, the whole interior, but it was clean. You could tell it had been taken care of. There was little notes and things all around of make sure you do this whenever you leave, and had information about their oil changes and things like that. So it was extremely outdated, but relatively well maintained. at least on first look. So
The-
that was a big thing for us. And the mileage was pretty good for the price as well.
Yeah, the mileage was about 50,000 for a 97, which is pretty crazy. Mileage on an RV isn't always a great teller of use, though, because people will drive it somewhere and park it for years.
Right.
But the owners previous to us did have everything documented. They had all the manuals in it, from all the appliances to all the maintenance they've had done on it documented, which was very helpful as we...
They had the VHS tape of all of the information, which we have not watched.
a 10 CD player,
yeah.
Everything you could think of. So we decided to go with it. It was a pretty big purchase for us. Biggest purchase we've made together collectively.
Yep.
And really exciting, but also a little scary because we knew of all the surface work it needed, but we were still unsure of all the mechanical work that it needed to do, which we'll get into a whole nother video later.
And I'm sure there'll be more that we don't even know is broken and needs fixing. So I feel like we're finding stuff already constantly.
And so that was how we found our RV and bought it. And our plan with it is to travel out west. Currently, my sister lives on the west coast, so we're going to go visit her as kind of our last destination for the first couple months. Our plan is to go a couple months, as much time as we need, to head out there, visit national parks and national monuments. I took a trip out there when I was younger, so I don't remember a ton of it. And Haley hasn't.
I've been to Yellowstone once, which was excellent, but that's really it. So there's a lot more to be seen out there, and we're very excited about that.
And we'll make videos here about our travels and our journey and updates to make to the RV and all the hardships we have, because I am sure there will be numerous stories of things breaking and going wrong that we just can't plan for.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Be sure to follow along and see where our journey takes us.
Thanks for watching.